Listen, you are very likely caught up in an illusion you believe to be real. It is a reality that you have created in your mind based on how others want you to think. That would be okay if there was not so much anger, anxiety, and unhappiness involved. All that is required to achieve all of your hopes and dreams is to wake up and realize that you have the power to intentionally transform reality to your wishes. Nothing need be impossible for you. A new age is beginning, and you have an important role to play in the future of life on this planet.
Since you decided to listen to this story, I'll assume that you are curious to find out a bit more about what we're calling the Gaia Game. Calling it the Gaia Game and naming the intentional players in the game time-space adventures is really just to offer a framework so that the concepts we want you to consider can be discussed in a lighthearted manner. This is because the primary intention is for you to have more fun and adventure in life. There's absolutely no need to worry about anything because, as you'll discover, the better you get at just enjoying the game, the less things you will find to be worried about. You see, you will find you are in control of the basic storyline, so things that others worry about need never have any significant effect on your life. We're here at a carnival today. It seemed a very fitting backdrop for this talk. Carnivals are fun. Carnivals always have a hint of mystery or intrigue about them. In a few days, an empty field is transformed into an amusement park. A traveling band of entertainers bring their rides, games, and often curiosities to town for a few days. Here, on a big field by the side of a church, it has been transformed in just days before Halloween to a carnival. Plenty of kids will be sure to add to the fun by coming in their Halloween costumes. And of course, most of us have come in the costumes of one sort or another. Most of us have considered how we want to look and the impression we want to create to others. That is part of this story, because every time we go out and interact with others, we have taken on a role. As William Shakespeare famously stated, all of the world is a stage, and all of the men and women merely players. Our story is about consciously taking charge of your character and the role you are playing. Since this may be a new concept to many of you, some explanation is definitely needed. The two ideas of the Gaia Game, with you as a time-space adventurer, are connected. Whether you consciously recognize it or not, you have for many years been developing your role in a story in which you are the starring character. The only question is if you recognize that you are playing a part in a story that is entirely of your own concoction. Most people at this point in time believe they are observing the world around them as something separate from themselves. You may not believe that you are designing your reality and that it is simply a mirror of your predominant beliefs. You may even think that you need to deserve a good life to have one. In reality, you are born worthy, but some people must work very hard to feel deserving. While it is not necessary, these individuals will need to work hard so that they can feel they deserve what they want. Do you believe you need to pay a price for success? That is what most others would have you believe because they believe it. They may even think their efforts or those of their families make them superior to you. None of this is true. It may seem frivolous to you to say that you are, in reality, playing a part in a story that you're making up. You can be assured that there is no reality for you beyond what you believe it to be. It is not anything real, in fact. It's a fiction, like a waking dream in your mind. It seems very real, of course, because you and most everyone around you have agreed to play a similar game with similar rules. However, consider that everyone you know has a slightly different set of rules, all of which they believe to be true. In the same social group, there is great pressure to have at least similar beliefs. But I'm sure you can always find people whose ideas you strongly oppose. Are they wrong? You might say yes, from your perspective, but from theirs, you're the one that's wrong. We would suggest that there is no wrong or right. There's only choice and belief. You are not evaluating and judging the world around you. You are creating it. You will create whatever life for yourself that you are willing to believe in. Most people take life and death way too seriously. This is understandable because we've been taught to think this way to control our behavior. If you believe your fate can be affected by what anyone else does, you may feel the need to limit their freedom to protect yourself. This is erroneous thinking because they can only be a part of your story to the degree that you give them permission. Also, of course, many believe death is final. The particular character you've adopted is going to die, but the you that has been pulling the strings will move on to create new stories, eager to do more adventuring in another time-space reality. This is why we want you to consider adopting the concept of the Gaia Game and of taking on the role of a time-space adventure in the game. There's nothing wrong with how you've been living your life so far. We all believe quite adamantly in the reality of the character we're currently playing. Occasionally, though, don't you have moments where you feel like an observer watching things unfold? This is the part of you that is having the time-space adventure. It is like playing a game, and your character has total freedom to do whatever it wants. While you can be aware of all the outcomes and options, the adventure will be in trying to point the character you have created in the most beneficial directions to advance the chosen storyline. We suggest that your character has been created in the image and likeness of God with access to total creative power in the material world. The observer you is the God connection. You can call it a higher self or a soul. It does not really matter. The point is that it is the part of you that is non-physical and can only create in the physical world through the character you created, your player in the current game. Why call it a game? Because anything goes and choice directs all of the action. The scoreboard is the feeling of satisfaction or lack of satisfaction experienced by your character. With the game idea, you can approach things like an adventure where your objective is to find the best way to move in the direction you desire. There's no judgment. And here we come to what you need to learn. To maximize the success of your character, you need to stop judging anything. If your character judges something as wrong, this will be a source of dis-ease, anxiety. Instead, you need to learn to consistently focus your attention on what you want, not what is unwanted. Look for things to appreciate. The more you can stay focused on ideas and information and beliefs and positive future outcomes, the more that will become what your character believes about the world. Since whatever you believe is reality for your character, remember there is nothing real outside of belief. And this is how your character manifests its creative power to shape the material world. Consciousness controls how personal reality is manifested in the physical world. Beliefs direct the energy of consciousness. Therefore, if you can take charge of what you believe, you can wield virtually unlimited power. And this is the essence of the game. You are here to learn how to believe in whatever it is that will keep you on the path to your hopes and dreams. You must just recognize that your character has no limits other than those it accepts for itself. In reality, you can have whatever you desire, and it is learning that skill that is your mission, if you choose to accept it. No judgment, though. Do whatever you want. If you do want to play the game, we hope to give you some ideas and processes to help you claim your power.